Hey Sohail, how are you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
Hi, Akash. Thanksgiving was great. Still digesting the turkey and getting back to work.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Well, I hope you got some good family time in and all that, and staying busy, obviously, with the retail windows here. Yeah, today, what I thought we might talk about is with new cycle of economic uncertainty, right? Some people are saying that things should go up, things go down. I also read a report that was really fascinating about high growth companies and how they're struggling to find the right talent.
Mhm.
So, I was sort of processing this as over the weekend, and I was thinking about how it's, for high growth companies, it's really important to find the right talent. But, because you're growing very rapidly, you're also, trying to identify where to plug that talent to continue that growth. So you have to evolve with it a little bit. I think we live in a time now, as you and I are doing, which is independent consultants. We're living in a time now where it's a great opportunity to tap into independent consulting as well as full time talent. So I think these employers and these high growth scenarios have a lot of good opportunity. What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I think the increased uncertainty that we're seeing require companies to be very both flexible and thoughtful in their talent strategy. And I would say that, the uncertainty means that you need to have even more clarity in your vision for how you're going to achieve growth. But then recognize that as circumstances change, you may need to make your talent bets in different places, which means you probably need to have a talent pool that is flexible, either multi-skilled or the ability to bring in different skills at different times. I think back to a client I worked with this year that actually had a multinational marketing team, but it was it was led by somebody who was very focused in a certain type of marketing, and different skills are required, and we ended up splitting that role into a performance marketing focused role and a consumer customer brand marketing role, and we hired that talent in India as opposed to in the UK where this client was based. And in doing that, we actually got these new heads to actually be located with the execution teams. Um, but they brought new skills to the table, and that ended up being a much better structure for this company, and has propelled it to a new level of growth.
Interesting. That's interesting. It does remind me a little bit of my time at Humana. We were in high growth mode. And when I took over the marketing team, we had a lot of generalists who are really focused on product marketing. So they understood the product lines, and then they go out and they generally execute. And what we were finding is it was hard to understand how we're going to replicate that rapid growth. And so we invested with the support of the CFO at the time in a data analytics function to better understand what was happening, and then also a performance marketing function to to more precisely deploy those tactics. And so it was kind of a cycle of tip of the spear product, performance, data analytics, kind of repeating back. Actually, data analytics did some of the forecasting as well, so they're at the tip of the spear too. But generally at the end, and then coming up into the beginning as they learn more about the business. So that was effective there. I mean, I think one of the things I learned there is that we didn't stick with that. We kind of continue to hear from our team about, what interests them, where they want to go. And we started to create some different shifts within the teams and different types of roles. And that helped as well. And we were able to maintain growth because we had that talent and we're able to maintain that talent. And the last thing I'll say is we did use fluid talent, right? We really had to, because there were too many holes to plug with specific types of talent, and it's too long of a lead time to wait for permanent talent. So I don't know if you have any other final thoughts as we close
Yeah,
this one.
look, I mean, the more uncertainty you're surrounded by, and the more sort of mixed talent you have, whether it's fluid talent or it's permanent talent, what becomes clear to me is that you need to get really, really good at the basics of managing teams
Yeah,
and making very, very clear to them what their lines of reporting are, what their objectives are, what the key metrics are that they're going to be measured by, and then also, insisting that they focus on the few key initiatives that are going to really achieve those goals, as opposed to be getting spread too thin because they're being pulled into many directions. It sounds like basics. It sounds like something that everybody should do, and yes, they should do it, but most don't do it. And I think that's the reason why so many companies struggle with growth. But I think in this environment, doubling down on those basics is absolutely critical when you're navigating through uncertainty.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Well, good. Well, thanks, Sohail. We'll see you soon.
Talk
Take
soon.
care.
Bye.